On Friday, with over 100,000 vaccinations already administered, Utah's new governor issued an executive order speeding up his state's COVID-19 vaccine distribution.
That's right, and joining us to discuss his state's plan is Utah Governor Spencer Cox. Governor Cox, first of all, congratulations on the win. You announced a number of changes to your state's plan. Most notably, you are now putting educators, teachers on the list to begin receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. Tell us what else you've laid out.
Starting today, all educators, starting with the most vulnerable, are available to get the vaccine. And then starting a week from today, everybody 70 years or older in the state of Utah will be able to get the vaccine. And we have a requirement in place now that all providers will have to use the vaccine within a week of receiving it, or it will be redistributed. Our goal is to make sure that there are no vaccines left on the shelf at the end of every week, and we feel confident we can reach that goal starting next week.
Well, Governor Cox, you're going to speed up the vaccine distribution. You're leaving a mask mandate in place, but your state has the 5th highest infection rate in the country. What's driving those numbers?
Unfortunately, it looks like people let their guard down over the Christmas holidays and New Year's. That's what we're seeing right now. It looks like those numbers are starting to stabilize, and we're hoping they'll be heading back down. But clearly, we have to get that vaccine out as quickly as possible, and people have to stay vigilant. It's a time to be hopeful, and we hope, knowing that the end is in sight, that people will be careful so we can get through and make sure that people are safe until they can get that vaccine.
Governor, we see you already have your sleeves rolled up. You're hard at work. Last time, though, you were on the program, you actually joined us with your opponent ahead of the election. You all were unprecedented in having those ads that you created together promoting civil discourse. I'm curious, given your emphasis on that, and it was very admirable to watch, what is your reaction to the events in Washington last week?
Well, my reaction is one of disgust and really just devastation, seeing what we've seen. In my inaugural address on Monday, just 2 days before this happened, I talked about this very thing, quoting an expert who said that in the next 30 years, we could see a catastrophic failure of democracy in our country. And he said, because we don't know what happens when you drain the trust out of the system. And unfortunately, 2 days later, that's exactly what we saw. We were worried about this, which is why we did the ads together, that there would potentially be violence, that we might not see a peaceful transfer of power, and unfortunately that is exactly what has happened. And look, being civil is critical. We have to be civil with each other. We have to come together and listen to each other, but we also have to hold people accountable, and everyone who participated and who made that violence happen must be held accountable.
Accountable, and who made that violence happen? For you, does that include President Trump, and whether on the table we have the 25th Amendment, impeachment, or resignation? Does it matter how, but do you believe he needs to be out of office immediately? And if not, why not?
Well, I certainly think it would be good for the nation if he were willing to resign. I doubt that that's willing to happen. And that's the whole process. That's what Congress is supposed to do. The House is supposed to investigate. That's what they should do. They should find out. They should investigate everything, more than just what we know. There's so much still that we don't know. What happened with the orders to bring in additional police officers, to bring in the National Guard? Those are questions that still have to be answered, and people have to be held accountable. And yes, that includes the president. It includes everyone who played a role in what we saw in one of the darkest days in our nation's history.
Governor, if you had a vote, would you vote to impeach President Trump?
Well, I would have to look at all of the evidence, but I would very much consider it. I can tell you that right now, but I don't have a vote. We'll be working with our members of Congress to make sure that they take their jobs very seriously.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox, we certainly appreciate your time, and again, congratulations. We appreciate you being a friend of the show, and come on back anytime.
Thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.